I'm Billy Mills. You're on native ground.
Brothers! What we doing live echoes in eternity. We were all
Hello, my name is David Tyson, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Amber Greymorning from the Arapaho Nation, and I'm on native ground.
Amber, when did you start learning Arapaho?
When I was in about 7th grade, I started learning using the ASLA method, and before that I had known a few words from my childhood, but I really think of myself starting to learn Arapaho in 7th grade.
Can you describe your relationship with the Arapaho language and culture?
Well, when I was little, I kind of grew up on the Wind River Reservation, so I grew up around the language and the elders and things. And then we moved when I started going to school. So throughout most of my learning childhood, I didn't get the language except for in the home and things. But throughout my entire life, I've considered myself to remain an Arapaho Indian. And, going back to the reservations always felt like going home to me. So, it's kind of my relationship. And ever since middle school, and especially in high school, I've traveled around with my dad, explaining the method to people and showing them how it works and things. And so I feel pretty close to it.
Prior to your beginning of studying the Arapaho language in 7th grade, you said, did you find any obstacles with maintaining your identity as an Arapaho?
A little bit. I've always felt like an Arapaho Indian, but the biggest thing for me came when I learned about the whole blood quantum thing. That really bothered me, that the American government defines me as, whether I'm Indian or not. And, it really bothers me that legally, I suppose, under the American government, I am not allowed to call myself an Arapaho Indian. I think that's wrong. And, they don't have blood quantum tests to tell if you're Mexican or Asian. So, I'm Arapaho Indian.
Back to the ASLA method, how would you compare said method to current or previous approaches to the language instruction?
It's a lot different because using ASLA, it really works off of learning. It's not based on memorization at all, whereas nearly every other method for learning language is based on memorization. You're looking at a list and memorizing vocab words and, learning how to count, and you're taking written tests on these things. And the ASLA method doesn't use that. And everyone who's used it has found it a much easier way to learn. And you find that, you know the language a lot better, and you're not forgetting things as often as you do when you try to memorize something. So it works a lot differently that way. And it's also not based on vocab lists. You're learning to talk, and by the time you're done, you actually can have conversations, and it's not just asking where the library is or saying that my cat is brown.
When you began learning Arapaho, did you begin with the ASLA method, or was there a different approach?
When I started learning, it was using the ASLA method. However, it was still in its baby form at that point. It has evolved into something much different now, but I still learned in a very similar way, and it was still called ASLA, so yes.
I understand that you're studying the language also in college right now, right? Where do you see yourself going with the language once you're finished with university?
Well, I always want to keep learning Arapaho, and I want to make sure that the language goes on to other generations. So whether that sees me moving back to the reservation and teaching there, that could be something that happens. I know for a fact that I will raise my future family using Arapaho, so, it won't die with me.